Go.
I tell you, Jed, there ain't nothing like a home-cooked meal. Now, you might think it's right that a man like myself eats some fancy restaurant every day of the week is a man to be angry. But there are moments, when I trade all of that, every green bean, almond bean, French of this, French of that, for a piece of cob country ham and red-eyed gravy like I had tonight.
It was all right then?
All right. Man, the president doesn't eat this better than this in the White House.
Mayor, I'll get the coffee. You clear the men's plates and get yourself something to eat.
Oh, I'm not hungry, Mom.
What's wrong with you, girl?
Nothing, just not hungry.
Leave the child alone, Layla. She's too busy feasting her eyes and filling her ears to pay much attention to her belly. Pity one can't say the same for you, Tommy Jackson.
You're a mighty fortunate man, Jed.
And how do you figure that?
Because you got the one thing a man needs to live a life worth living.
That being?
Your independence. You're not beholden to any man for anything on your... how many acres would you say you have?
Oh, about 300-400 acres.
On your 300 odd acres in the middle of God's green country, you're a virtual king. Republican nobility.
Republic.
A figure of speech, Jed. What I mean to say is you and the people like you, your neighbors, they're what makes this country great. I take it you served in the glorious cause?
Oh, my daddy was a hero. He fought with Quantrill.
Now, Marianne.
Well, you did.
Is that a fact?
My daddy saved Quantrill's life.
Isn't that something?
That was in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm telling Daddy.
It wasn't really all that much.
Go on, Jed.
Go on, Mr. Rowe.
See, they was tracking his house in Lawrence, and the Yankees had set it on fire, and...
Marianne! JT's the storyteller here. You're gonna put the poor fella out of work.
What was he like? Quantrill. I mean, you hear so many different things.
He was a real gentleman. That's what Jed always said. Isn't that right, Jed?
Well, I guess he was a lot of different things, different people, but you always treated me square. Maybe, Mr. JT, you'd like a drop of something much stronger than coffee to settle your stomach.
Well, I'm not ordinarily drinking man. You understand? But, as this is a special occasion, I'd be honored to raise a glass with you, sir.
Mary, you get down the old mason jar and a couple of glasses.
Now, Jed, you promised.
I said I know what I'm doing, Layla.
Well, you know your stomach can't take it, Jed.
Lately.
You go ahead, but don't you be waking me up in the middle of the night with those terrible dreams.
I said I know what I'm doing, woman. Well, hell, give me a pitcher of buttermilk then. A terrible thing to do to good corn liquor. I don't suppose you care to.
Ordinarily, yes, but I'm trying to cut back on the buttermilk.
So was I.
To your health.
Mud in your eye.
Woo! Lord, that's the elixir of the god. Pure liquid Kentucky.
Heaven in a mason jar.
Mr. Rowe, you expect I might have some?
Well, sure, Tommy. Help yourself, Paul. To the buttermilk.
Well, I want to thank you good folks for having me in like this, but I know there's nothing free in this life, so I reckon it's time I sing for my supper, as you will.
Well, Mr. JT, before you get to spinning us a yarn, maybe you could say a word or two about what's going on out in the world.
Well, sir, we got us a new president, of course, a fella named Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland. Who's he?
Democrat.
Praise be to God.
A Democrat. Lord, we waited long enough for that. Laylee, pour us another round. This is a cause for celebration.
Where's he from? New York.
New York? New York! Hell, I ain't drinking to no Yankee Democrat. What are they gonna hand us next? A Christian sodomite?
Jed,
What's a sodomite?
never you mind.
Read your Bible, boy.
Oh, is that the fella who's helpful enough?
No, that's Samaritan.
Oh, Lord, this is why us folks in the mountains don't miss the world out there. The news is always bad.
Well, I got one piece of news I think you'll like.
It ain't like
Ulysses S. Grant died 4 weeks ago.
dead.
Hot damn.
Come, Jackson, you watch your language
Well,
in this house.
I'll be damned.
Very likely, Jed Rowan, you and Tommy Jackson both with your blasphemous ways.
Oh, hush up, woman. It's just words. The way I always understood it, the Lord don't care what you say, it's what you do. Now, what'd he die?
Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
Lately, as much sin as there is in eastern Kentucky, I don't think the Lord will notice some bad language.
Not a sparrow shall fall, but what he won't see.
Enough! Tommy, pour everybody over some corn liquor, and I think we'll skip the buttermilk this round. Now, JT, maybe you favor us all with that story you promised.
Well, sir, it'd be a privilege. I knew a fellow once, luckiest man in the world. I remember having me once went raccoon hunting. Had a terrible time. I lost a dog, most our shells, and when we finally did tree this old raccoon up a sycamore, couldn't get a decent shot at the critter. Well, by this time, it was so dark you couldn't see your hands in front of your face.
Well, that was pretty dumb. Going hunting with no moon out, no.
Be quiet.
Let the man finish his story.
Anyway, we turned around to go home real dejected like when all of a sudden the clouds cleared the moon, which is full of course, to reveal a sight that would freeze your eyes.
What?
There in front of us was a big old mama grizzly bear and her cub. Now my friend only had one shell left, and I had nothing at all, so we turned to run. But there behind us was the biggest rattlesnake I'd ever seen. We was trapped, so I fell to my knees, saying a prayer, and as I looked up, I remember seeing this huge old flock of geese flying over us. Then my friend shot the grizzly bear. Well, there was a terrible explosion as his gun blew up in his face. Anybody else would be dead or blind at least. But my friend was so lucky, this is what happened. The bullet killed the she-bear dead. A piece of that stock killed the rattlesnake and skinned him too. And the old bear flew up and knocked the lead goose so cold he fell into the river. Well, of course, all the other geese followed and drowned themselves. Well, I commenced to skinning the bear while my friend waded the river to collect all the geese. Took him half an hour, and when he stepped out of that creek, wouldn't you know it, he found about 50 pounds of fish stuck in his boots. We gathered up the bear, the fish, the geese, and the rattlesnake, and it was just about to head off when that raccoon we'd been hunting fell out of the tree, stone dead at our feet. Seems in all that ruckus that the baby grizzly had climbed up the same tree to hide, scaring that raccoon to death. You talk about luck, well, I guess that friend of mine was full of it.
Well, somebody was sure full of something.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
What do you think it means?
Keep a civil tongue in your head, boy.
I'm sure the child will mean any harm, Jack. You know how kids are at this age. Liable to say all kinds of stupid things. Yeah. Puts me in the mind of a story I once heard about a couple of kids used to live up in Perry County. Seems there were these two families, the Montages and the Caplets, and they've been feuding long as anyone can remember. And now, the Caplets had a daughter named Juliet, though everyone called her Jewel, because she was so pretty, I guess. Anyway, she'd been promised to a fellow named Thomas. Fellow, about the nicest thing you could say was, you know, a few shades from Atlantic. Problem was, Drew was in love with this other fellow she had just met. A real nice-looking stranger named Jack. She'd made up her mind that she was going to marry him and live in New York City, in a big old skyscraper. Unknowns to her, Jack was a Montage. And when she found out, he'd like to break her heart. But he said it didn't matter to him, her being a Caplet. So they planned to get married anyway in secret and then run off together. Well, right after the wedding, Jack ran into a whole mess of Caplets. Before you know it, they drew on him and he had no choice but to defend himself. Now, he dropped about 5, him being a crack shot, and then he lit out of town, leaving a message for Jewel to join up with him in Lowell. Well, she wanted to, but her daddy was real set on her marrying this Thomas fellow, even if he was close to being dead. So, Jewel went to go see this old witch woman and get some help. This here witch, she give us herbs, which put her in a sleep like she was dead or something. Plan was this witch would get word to Jack to come back and dig up Jewel after she buried, and then they could sneak off. So Juliet took them herbs and everybody thought she'd died, and they buried her just like they planned. Only thing wrong was this old witch got terrible arthritis, was kicked up about when they slowed her up something fierce, and by the time she got to Louisville, Jack had already heard that Jewel was dead, and crazy with grief, he'd gone back home. That night, he snuck into the graveyard to say goodbye to his sweetheart and then kill himself. Well, who should he stumble into with a shovel in hand but Thomas? Lord knows what he was doing digging dead bodies there, but like I said, he was a strange sort of boy. Well, they started to fight, of course, kicking and gouging each other something fierce. In the middle of this, Jewel wakes up and sees that Thomas is choking her poor Jack to death. She got a lot of spunk, that girl. And before you could blink, she picks up a shovel and bashes Tom's head in. Then she explained everything to Jack, who was real glad to hear she wasn't dead now. The two of them run off to New York City, where they was real happy.
Oh, I like that story.
You son of a... I'll kill you! What the hell get into you, boy? I ain't no fool. Well, you sure is acting like one. I see what's going on here. This stranger coming dancing in here with his smiles and his stories, and everybody falls all over him like he's some prodigal son coming home from the wars.
Prodigal.
Oh, and I see you mooning over him making cow eyes. I like this story. I do. I think you better get out of here, boy. Oh, I'm going? Hell, you couldn't pay me more to stay. Maybe I'll make a fool out of myself like you say, old man. But Mr. Silvertongue, stay here tonight with the stories, and I bet Mary Ann makes a bigger fool out of you by tomorrow morning. You cool off. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Give me the damn gun. You keep pushing it, son, and I'm likely to do just that. Come on, Jack. Give me the gun. Or what? You gonna cry? Maybe stamp your feet and shout? Wet your pants? You don't know. I don't know why your daddy lets you carry a gun, boy. You ain't got the balls to use it or the sense to know when. Now get out of here, boy, before I turn you over my knee. Go on, get! I ain't forgetting this, and I ain't forgetting you!